Good evening, and welcome to Sinister Radio, where the ordinary twists into the eerie. We invite you to step into a world of unsettling and spine-tingling stories that will make your skin crawl, your heart race, and keep you awake, wondering what lurks just beyond the reach of the light. So dim the lights, settle in, and let the darkness in. Now, I will tell a story that invites you into the depths of fear. It's a story that'll make you double-check the darkness tonight. Take a look around, keep your doors locked, and watch your back. Because who knows what might be lurking in the shadows after turning off the lights. Are you ready to face the fear? Let's begin. Samantha had always found comfort in the isolation of her home. Nestled deep in the woods, miles away from the hustle and noise of the city. She and her husband, Mark, had moved there for the peace, the solitude, and the beauty of the forest that surrounded their dream house. Mark was away on a business trip, scheduled to be gone for the next few days. Samantha had been dreading the nights alone, not because of the house or the distance from town, but because of her sleep paralysis. She had suffered from it for years, a condition that left her trapped between waking and sleeping, her body frozen while her mind danced on the edge of nightmares. Usually, Mark was there to comfort her, to be there by her side, if he heard her muffled whimpers in the night. But tonight, there would be no one to comfort her and be with her if she gets another seizure. As Samantha was cleaning the kitchen table, she felt like something or someone was watching her. She tried to shake off the creeping unease she felt by the thought. Then Samantha heard a creaking sound. She looked at the kitchen window close to the stairs that led down to the basement. She told herself it was just the wind rattling the windows and the old house creaking. An hour later, Samantha finally decided to head to bed. So she turned off the lights and the whole house was now filled with darkness. She curled up under the blankets, pulling them tight around her as she closed her eyes, willing sleep to come swiftly and peacefully. Hours passed, and in the dead of night, she drifted into a restless slumber. She was in that strange, hazy state between dreams and reality when it happened. Her eyes snapped open, but her body would not move. She tried to shift, to blink, but she was paralyzed, locked in place by the invisible weight that pinned her to the bed. Her room was drenched in shadows, illuminated only by the faint, bluish light of the moon filtering through the window. She could see the room, feel the covers, even hear the faint ticking of the clock on the wall, but she was unable to move. Her body heavy and unresponsive. Then, she sensed it, a presence. In the corner of the room, just beyond the reach of the moonlight, stood a figure. At first, it was only a dark shape, something her mind struggled to define. But slowly, as her eyes adjusted to the darkness, she could make out more details. It was a figure of a man, tall, with unnaturally long arms that hung down by his sides. His head was tilted slightly, as if he were watching her with an intent curiosity. Though she couldn't see his face clearly, she felt his gaze on her, cold and unblinking. Samantha's eyes were wide and desperately looking around the room. Her heart thundered in her chest, and she tried to scream. But her mouth refused to open. She was trapped, helpless, forced to lie there as the figure moved closer. She could hear the soft, shuffling footsteps as he approached the side of her bed. Each step agonizingly slow. The room felt colder, the air heavy and thick with a sense of dread that pressed down on her like a weight. The figure leaned over her. Its face was few inches from hers. She could finally see its eyes, dark and hollow, as if they were endless pits that led into nothingness. His breath was cold, an unnatural chill that seemed to seep into her skin. He reached out one long, skeletal hand and placed it on her forehead. His touch felt icy and unnerving. She felt him rooting himself into her mind, a parasite that fed off her fear. In that moment, she could feel his thoughts, a wave of evil intent that washed over her, suffocating her. He wanted to stay, to nest in her mind, to feed off her helplessness and fear. She struggled with all her might, straining against the paralysis that bound her, desperate to break free. Then, suddenly without warning, she could move her arms, her upper body. The room was empty, and the figure was gone. Her body was slick with sweat, her breaths coming in shallow, panicked gasps. She looked around, searching the shadows for any sign of the intruder. But there was no one. The room was silent, the house still as if nothing had happened. Shakenly, she stumbled out of bed, flicking on every light in the room, desperately hoping to chase away the lingering shadows and get back to reality. She paced the room, running her hands through her hair. Samantha felt like she was losing her mind. It had felt so real. She could still feel the chill of his touch, the weight of his presence. After a while, she convinced herself it was just another episode of sleep paralysis. A particularly vivid and horrifying hallucination. She climbed back into her bed, leaving the lights on this time. She closed her eyes, hoping for the dawn to come quickly. But as she laid in her bed, she thought of Mark, and how much she missed and needed him. She wanted to text him, so she looked at the nightstand. But it wasn't there. She always kept her phone there when going to bed, but now it was gone. She sat up, looked around the room. She thought to herself, maybe I left it downstairs? No, she was absolutely sure. She put her phone on the nightstand before turning off the lights. Then she heard the sound of the floorboards creaking outside her bedroom. Her head turned towards the sound. When she saw that her door was slightly open, she froze. Her breathing became heavier, her heartbeat racing as she felt uneasy. As she was looking at the door slowly opened. Samantha knew in that moment she wasn't alone. An unfamiliar man was standing in the doorway. He looked at her with a hungry, evil gaze. He had been waiting just on the other side of the slightly open door, lurking in the dark, silently watching her laying helpless in her bed, not able to move. Samantha screamed as the man slowly, methodically, crept closer, with his hands in front of him, ready to grab her. Our time together in the dark has come to an end. So join us again, if you dare, when we return with more stories to keep you awake. Until then, sleep tight and sweet dreams. And try not to let the darkness creep in. We'll be waiting for you till next time, right here on Sinister Radio.